How's it going? My name is Kareem Edwards, born and raised in Far Rockaway, Queens, New York. I'm currently an assistant brand manager at Kraft Heinz Company. I grew up in Queens, New York, Far Rockaway to be exact. Grew up in a single parent household. From the beginning, my mom kind of instilled in my brother and I just hard work. So from an early age, it's always about what have you done today? What kind of value have you added to the community, to the family, and so on? And are you being thankful for the opportunities you do have? So growing up, I think I started my first job at the age of 14, working at a nursing home, playing games with the patients and so on. And then within a year, I got another job as a busboy waiter at a kosher deli. And kind of going that whole notion of working hard, working 2 jobs, going to high school was a lot, but it helped me to kind of provide a better life for my family, help my mom out with paying rent, paying a mortgage, to kind of take care of myself. So I think in many ways, my mom, and I want to say the Far Rockaway community kind of helped raise me into a man. My mom with that hard but yet soft touch of a mother, but Far Rockaway with the hard just notion of you can't afford to mess up, or you can end up in prison, you can end up in 6 feet under, so many negative things that could happen if you do not pay attention and work hard. How I came about going to DePaul University in Greencastle, Indiana, it was through the Posse Foundation. And the Posse Foundation started in 1989 by the founder, Debbie Bill, who had a group of teenagers, and she had them in a circle kind of just talking about why didn't you go to college? Or if you did go to college, why did you drop out? And this one brave kid stood up and like, well, if I had my posse with me, I would have stayed. So keep in mind, it's 89, so posse is like a hip word, kind of meaning like you had this cohort of people that could help you to stay in college. So she came with this idea like, all right, well, I'm gonna send this cohort of young people from the inner city of New York as a posse to these top colleges across the world. So the Vanderbilts, the DePaul, the Middlebury, and so on and so on. So that was the premise of Posse. So I heard about Posse when I was actually in Germany my sophomore year of high school. I was part of this program called Bridge the Gap, which was right after 9/11, and Germany and the US kind of bridges this gap between the countries by pairing off students, leaders in public school of New York City to students in Germany. And this young girl from Brooklyn was like, well, you should apply to Posse. I'm like, what's Posse? Went back to my school, told my guidance counselor and the principal about Posse. Like, all right, let's submit 10 students to apply to Posse. So I was one of the 10. So Posse, you have 3 rounds of interviewing. The first round is about easily 200 plus students from the 5 boroughs in this room. And it's like a group interview. So they ask certain questions, they're just kind of monitoring everyone. And from there, they'll narrow that 200 surplus people to, let's say 100 or so. And the second round interview is kind of like a panel interview. So it's myself and then 2 people who ask you questions, a little bit more intimate. And at that point, you get to pick 3 schools that you're willing to attend. So I picked Lafayette, I want to say Middlebury, and I picked DePaul. First 2 schools were more on the East Coast. I came out picking DePaul because it was in Indiana and I have family in Indiana. So I used to visit them every other summer. Like, well, I've been there a couple times, it was fun. Why not? I'll be close to family. So I'll have that support with me. I guess that additional support outside my posse. So the third round, they narrowed down to about 20 students per school. And then it's still that group interview. And then from there you have a team of people from the university and a team of people from Posse who monitor and ask questions, and they pick 10 people. And by far, that was probably the most challenging yet rewarding experience, because this right here was like the golden ticket to escape Far Rockaway, to get out the hood and make it, right? First person in my family to go to college. So I remember I was working at a pharmacy at the time. I got a phone call from Elaine Davenport, who was going to become my trainer from Posse. Calls me, she's like, Kareem, you know, this Posse thing is growing. It's a big ordeal now in New York City. There's a lot of students who are applying. So I just want to let you know that you got it. And I'll never, I'll never forget just falling. I'll never forget falling on my knees at work, just crying. Because this was the beginning of changing opportunities for my family. It was no more working 2 jobs. Wow, I wasn't expecting this. Oh man. So I just fell on my knees and started crying. My manager walked in like, what happened? Did someone get hurt? And I shared the good news with him. He's like, go home, celebrate your family. And my house was about a mile away from my job. And I no lie, just ran straight mile to my house. First into the door, saw my mom. She saw me like crying. She's like, what happened? What's going on? And I told her I got the scholarship. And she started crying. I'm crying more. And we just knew that was like the pivotal point in my family life to get more opportunity, all this hard work, 17 plus years of kind of putting our head down, grinding out. This was the reward we were waiting and looking for. So yeah, that was my transition into college. So even before I got to college, that summer before, I was extremely fearful that something could have happened. I could have became some kind of statistic that was on a path of greatness, going to college, but got shot. So that summer, only thing I did was work, come back home, look for more scholarships outside the Posse Foundation, and just kind of pray to make it to Greencastle, Indiana. So because of that anxiety and eagerness, I actually called a school to get permission to come to school a week before first year orientation. So a week before anyone else was on campus. I got the permission to okay. My cousin was living in Indiana at the time, and she picked me up from the airport. Mind you, I've been to Indiana probably 5 times. 4 times was to go see family. So from the airport, straight to their house. I'm a kid, anywhere from 8 to 15, just having fun. The 5th time was after I got into DePaul University, going to visit a campus. And I remember the school picking myself and the Posse members up, going to the campus. It was a great weekend. So went back to New York. I'm ready to go back to DePaul. So now I'm in Greencastle, Indiana, and I get to campus, and I'm like, whoa, this is quite different than what I expected. That first night, I sat in my room, grateful, excited, but I couldn't sleep because it was too quiet. Coming from New York, I'm used to like ambulance, people making noise in the streets. All I was hearing was crickets, and it was just freaking me out. So didn't sleep that night, woke up the next morning, walked around campus, and there was no trains, no bus. If you didn't have a car, you weren't going anywhere except for the Walmart, probably about 6 blocks, so less than a mile away. And that was Greencastle, Indiana. Cornfields, and that was it. So in some ways peaceful, but quite different from New York. That was causing me anxiety because of that whole 180 transition. One of the greatest things about DePaul was I was able to meet my wife, Janelle. May of 2005, we started dating, and then everything was just great. It was beautiful. So my Thanksgiving of our senior year, so 2006, like this is it. I think I'm gonna propose to this young lady. Not sure when, but I bought the ring, and I was going to her family house for Thanksgiving. Like, all right, I'm gonna ask her father and mother for her hand in marriage. I'm gonna bring the ring down, show them I'm serious about this. So I go down there. The most expensive thing I ever bought in my life was in my pocket. Wasn't leaving it anywhere, didn't trust anything. So I showed him the ring, like, you know what, we support it, go ahead. I'm like, all right, I'm thinking about graduation time frame. I'll propose then when we both graduate and we'll move to New York. It'll work out perfect. So we're eating dinner, and her grandmother, the second sweetest person I ever met in my life, stands up like, you know what? I want to try something different this year. Look to the person to your left and tell them why you're thankful and why you love them. I'm like, all right, cool. That works for me. We're going around in a circle, and then about 5 people away from me, I'm just sitting around looking, observing, clapping, smiling. Her mom's looking at me like, this is it, do it. I'm looking at her, no. Her uncle's looking at me. I'm like, yeah, not happening, bro. So her dad's nudging me and like, what the hell's going on? No, it's not happening. So we're going around talking, and then it's my turn, and everyone's looking at me. I just felt like it's just like a pause for a second, like, am I about to do this? So I look to my left, Janelle's like biting into something. I'm like, well, here it goes. So I'm telling her, how much I'm thankful for inviting me to her family house, meeting her family, becoming part of her family, just everything in the last 2.5 years from getting to know her through college. Get down on one knee. She damn near chokes because she wasn't expecting it. I know I wasn't expecting it. So I remember asking her the question and her just response of just crying and confused but happy, excited. She finally says yes. So we're both sitting there happy, the family's happy, and her aunt's boyfriend at the time, who's a reverend, like that was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I love your aunt. Man, I wish I could do the same thing. And Janelle, my wife's father, was like, well, why don't you? If you love her, then do it. He's like, well, I don't have a ring. I wasn't a parent. Like, you don't need a ring. So he looks at Janelle's aunt, like, you know what? And then he pops the question. So now you have 2 engagements in this non-prepared, planned Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving dinner, in a way, was ruined because no one ate because everyone's just crying and smiling and happy. But it's probably the best Thanksgiving because we had like a celebration of love at Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving for my wife and I are very special and holds like a nostalgic part of our life because that was the day we kind of became, in my eyes, one, or preparation becoming one in terms of getting married. After working at Barclays and then really grinding out, getting a permanent position with the company, I saw another opportunity at Bank of America Merrill Lynch that was looking more of an internal consulting aspect. So I knew I could take the skills I had obtained from Barclays and work there and kind of go forward. And that was giving me a little chance to try a new industry of consulting, but safer in the sense that it was internal, so I didn't have to travel as much. So one thing for my whole life was just work hard, like grind out, work hard. And then also, I believe, well, there was a sign in my trigonometry class in high school that said, people don't plan to fail, but fail to plan. So with hard work, having this kind of plan to make sure you're doing what you want to do and obtain the goal that you want to obtain. So then I moved over to Bank of America Merrill Lynch, and that same principle, just working hard, having a plan, applied there. I was fortunate to get an opportunity to lead a team, a global team, and that really set me up to kind of understand, like, I could do this. I'm a black dude from Far Rockaway, Queens, first generation scholar, but whatever challenge I have, I could really pursue it and get it. I could work with any kind of person from around the world and lead them as a team to obtain something. So then I had no problem doing that, but I knew I wasn't passionate about the industry I was in. And that's when I was like, all right, something needs to change. I need to have a new plan to make sure I'm happy during this 9-to-5 job. I can't go to work, give all this energy, do great work, but come home unfulfilled. So then I started looking at an MBA, because MBA gives you the opportunity to kind of pivot your career into X, Y, and Z. So after speaking to one of my best friends, who's a posse scholar, best man at my wedding, my fraternity brother, he was talking about, oh, I'm looking at this whole MBA process. I think it'd be great for you. Let's do this together kind of thing. Like, that sounds like a plan. That 2 years gave me a new kind of vision of work hard, have a plan, but also work smart and be unapologetic about who you are so you can be happy. So it's 2 elements that I learned from business school, like really just be unapologetically black, unapologetically Kareem. So now I think where I'm at in my career is finding that opportunity where I could be everything I learned in the last 6-7 years of my career, and then find how I could make an impact in this world, in this community, and in my life. So at Craft, I'm learning a lot of skills, but still something missing with that urban development kind of spin on it, or impacting my community, the black community. So if I could do the same thing I'm doing at Craft in terms of creating products, whether CPG products or other types of products that is directed and focused to the black community, that would be a slam dunk. For me, growing up from Rockaway to now, nothing came easy, but all my greatest challenges came with the greatest reward. So whether going to the Paw, middle of nowhere, great reward for me was meeting my wife. Whether working at Lehman, going through the financial crisis, bankruptcy, the great reward there was me learning what the worst of the worst could be, and then providing an answer to how we can kind of revamp the culture at Barclays, Bank of America, and then obtaining like 20 in their 20s from Crain. So those challenges really kind of made me tougher, smarter, and wiser. So my advice to anyone watching this is that don't run from the challenge, don't run from any kind of, no, you can't do this, or any nonsense someone might tell you or you might read about. Don't embrace it either, but look at it and say, I got this. And just kind of be yourself. Be the person that your mother, your family, your father raised you, the person that you know you are, and just rock out, be a rock star. I feel like sometimes we, including myself, lack of confidence because we think we got to keep on proving something. We already have it in ourselves to do it. So just be who you are and just accept the challenges that you have, and I assure you it'll be rewarding experience and you will get what you want out of life.